We are live and we're waiting for Brother Neil Frazier to come in. He just threw me a text, and this is going to be another dynamic show. We are live. We are live. We're just waiting for the presence of Neil Frazier, and he just threw me a text. And let me what is this here? He can't come in. Wow, I just went live and he can't come in. He sent me something. We just text him back. We'll fix it. Fix it. I just went live. Wow. We're not going to let this become a catastrophe. We have one person in. Let me see what this. Okay, let's see. This is strange. This is very strange. Let me see if he can just, okay, I guess he's using his phone, so let me see what we can do. I hate to start the show out like this. As soon as I hit the button for live, I get the message here. Just have him call me. Okay. Let me just give him a voicemail. I'll let you all hear this so you know exactly what's going on. All right, so Melissa, how are you? Oh, wow, what a challenge today. Let me just leave him a message. I'm not even going to mute myself. Brother Neil, send me a voice message and let me know exactly what is happening. I know you're going through your phone. I don't know what other setting that you can change, but there's pretty much nothing I can do from this end. Just come out of that and just try to link again and let me know what happens. You know, I'm a Christian church. What do they say? The devil is a liar. So we'll take it that way. But, you know, really, nothing really, you know, you got to expect this when you're trying to do something positive, you know. So for all those who hear this in the future, just bear with me. If you hear the chimes in the back, I'm out on the balcony, peaceful, looking over the mountains, and have everything set up. There was a potential, not mishap, but not malfunction either, with my audio. Okay, how does it get on? Okay, let me see. Hit the link again. Hit the link again. Let's see what happens. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. That's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you here. And for everybody else that came on in, Brother Neil has a little issue coming in on the stream. So we're going to have to deal with that right now. And for all those who are hearing this in the future, when it goes up as a video, just know that we will get through this. And I have a way of doing it now. Let me just tell him that we may have to do it without him being on visually. I may have to Bluetooth him in. Let me just tell him here. Brother, what you can do, just call me. Just call me and I'll Bluetooth you in. I'll Bluetooth you in. And they won't be able to see you, but the show will go on and we can put the illustrations up at the same time. So just come on in. Just call me. If you try that one more time with the link and it doesn't work, I got the equipment here. You call me directly on the phone and I'll Bluetooth you right on in. Okay, Facebook is always late too. I'm streaming over there also. Now it's telling me 4 minutes after the time, get ready to go live. That's funny. He sent me a voicemail. Let me see what he's saying. Oh, he must have sent this app. What? How? The request does not comply with Google policies. But he can just call me straight. Yeah. Just call me straight. Just call me straight, brother. 407-590-0755. They can't stop that. 407-590-0755. The number's all over the place, the description area. Call me straight. I might be in Africa, but I got an app that you can call straight and get me. So just call me straight and we'll pipe you in. Okay, let's see how that works. Even though I know how it works. Okay, put these two open, and let me see. I want to go live on StreamYard. I'll wait until I hit that go live button. I'll wait with that. They don't have, okay, I think they're already in. Okay, I think, yeah, they're already in on StreamYard. Let me open up that app. I'm waiting for Neil to call me. You know, when you have everything intricately set up and one thing messes up, it's like okay, this is him. Okay, brother, I got you in. Let me just do what I have to do in the phone, and I'll pipe you through. No, we're gonna go through the phone. If you can't get in, we're gonna have to do it on an audio tip. So that being said, I'll add you in on Bluetooth, and I'll just put the pictures up. We'll just have the banner. We would have loved to see you. We're live now. Everybody's hearing this, but yeah, let me go into the phone in my settings, and let me connect you through Bluetooth. At least they can hear you. Okay, so just give me a second. Yeah, right now, right here. We'll go right on through. Just let me. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, brother. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Just now, you can't have the phone like away from you. You're gonna have to Okay. Is this coming through? Hold on 1 second. Okay. This is it here. Hold tight. Yeah. Yeah. Hold the phone. Hold the phone close to you like you're talking to the phone now, because you can't, like before you would put it down in front of you, but now it's going to be distant. Like if you put the phone down on the table and, you know, hold it up, because we can't see you, but we want to hear you clear. Okay, so. Okay, it said the thing couldn't connect. Now what's it? Yeah, hold tight. Because I got two gadgets here. I'm not sure which one it is. So let's while it's discoverable. That one can't connect. Let's do this one here. Okay. One of them has to connect. Okay. It's connected, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, you're connected in. Everybody can hear you.
I'm live.
I said everybody can hear you.
Okay.
You connected in. So hold the phone up the same way as if you were talking to somebody on the phone, and we'll move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
I just want to get a sound check from everybody or whoever's in the chat room who could just let me know how the sound sounds. And I'm going to go and I'm going to hit this on Instagram. And if it's a echo on Instagram, because I'm running all this to the same computer, if anybody hears an echo anywhere, just let me know. You might hear the little ring in there from the feedback, but if you hear echo, I just went live on Instagram. We're already live on everywhere else. 2 Facebook pages, LinkedIn, 2 YouTube channels, X, Rumble, and Instagram. So, Sweet Berry, how are you? I'm gonna depend on you all in the chat room to let me know if there's any feedback or anything sound wise, because I'm used to doing my Instagram stream on a different computer, so there's no echo because there's a delay with that. So if you hear anything, let me know. If everything is good and you could hear Brother Neil, talk to us, Brother Neil. We're going to get a sound check on you.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just want to make sure people in the
quick question for you. Are the visuals, are you guys able to see the visuals or no?
Yeah. You just tell me which one, and I down. Okay, thank you, Melissa. Melissa said everything is great, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna tell you straight up. In about 5 minutes, I have to check on something on the stove, right? So, other than that, I'll be sitting here. I'm outside. The weather's nice out here on the balcony. Everything's working, and for the most part, I'll be here listening while you're doing a lecture. But I'm gonna mute myself so there's no feedback from this side or anything, because I got a whole lot of things wired up here. So it seems like everything is a go.
Okay.
And I have the illustrations. Just let me know. And I did download them what I feel is in order. So you know, so if they're not the right one, just let me know. I'm here to support and give a good show, right? So we're also on the new
we'll work
YouTube
it out.
channel and on SCURV Media. And for those who are on SCURV Media, I'll suggest to subscribe to the new channel. And we're working on the old channel, right? And a lot of funny business, but it's doable.
Absolutely, absolutely, brother.
All right. Thank you so much, and thank you, Melissa.
All right.
All right,
Okay,
brother.
well, greetings to everyone. Greetings to Brother Land. You know, these kind of things happen, I've learned over time. I know Lance has to deal with them every day, but, you know, that's not going to stop our connection today. And a lot of times, the way I look at things now, when things happen, I understand and comprehend the law of polarity. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative thing. It's just a thing, because there is a reaction to all of our energies. And I want to give a shout out to Lance, and I know he's going to work everything out. And I want to send some love out to the chat room today. I was, well, Lance, I received the children's book today. So that was the big surprise for you.
I know,
And,
I know. But that's not going to stop anything. I just want to let you know you're on Instagram also. It's a separate chat room, and just want to extend myself over there. And on Instagram, we know the sound is going through everywhere else. Let me know if you can hear the sound without any echo and clear enough, because we had a last minute obstacle, two of them actually, one on Neil's side, one on my side. So as long as everything is going on. Okay, thank you, Arbang 9. Thank you so much, Brother Neil. In about 5 minutes, I'm gonna check that stove, but we can start the illustrations whenever you want, and you can introduce and take your time. And I'm gonna do that before we really get into the visuals and stuff. Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, as Lance said correctly, the name of the program today is Seeds of Colonialism: The Children of Babylon and the Future of America. And what I'd like to do real quickly, give Lance some time to do what he needs to do. If you could put that picture of Black Like Me there, that visual.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a second.
Okay. Interesting thing about this is that I actually went back and watched this movie this weekend. I had read the book, you know, a few decades ago, and the one thing that's missing in our world today, and you know, I get it, people want to suppress truth, but this guy, and I'm sure you all could see the visual now. His name is John Howard Griffin, a very courageous man. I have to give him his props. But he set out, and the 60s was a very pivotal time. Pivotal time for our people, the 60s. So I'm a little under the weather, guys, but we'll get through this. But the 60s saw a time when there was an energy vortex opened up for our people, and they took full advantage of it, and they changed the future destiny of all Black people, not just Black people, but for America as well. So I want to give a brief synopsis of this particular visual, because this is going to actually set the table for our conversation and presentation today. But this guy was a journalist. And, you know, at that time, we had real journalism where people would actually, you know, do boots on the ground, like Lance likes to say. And he wanted to know what it was like to live as a Black man in America. It's based on a true story. He actually played in the movie himself. So what he did was talked it over with one of the big editors there in his hometown. And then he talked it over with his wife, and they both basically said that you must have a death wish, because he chose to do this in the South. He chose to go to Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas. I'm trying to think of what the other one was. the other state, but you know, he wanted to go into the deep south. Okay, and he did. And so what he did was he met with the doctor. The editor finally agreed to, you know, to back him. And then he went to this doctor that basically gave him melanin pills. Okay, just keeping it real. Explained to him that he had to take one pill in the morning and one at night. Okay, and also he had a tanning booth as well. So it worked pretty good, I must say. It worked pretty good. So he took the bus down to the south. I think Louisiana was his first state, and he got an immediate shock because the way I saw it, no matter how you look on the outside, on the inside, emotionally, you're still a white male. And I don't think he really factored in this aspect of his, you know, plan. But the way that bus driver was talking to him and the other black, you know, people that were on the bus kind of shocked him a little bit. But at the same time, he knew to expect this, but it's a difference expecting something and actually experiencing it like we do every day, black men and black women, and children for that matter. So, so he got back on the bus. They went to downtown, I think it was New Orleans, and he went over to the black side of town. And he had his shoes shine. He started talking to the guy that was shining his shoes, right? And he said that, you know, I need you to show me what it's like being a black man, okay? But the first time he had gone down there, I missed the step, and he had went to that same guy when he was a white guy prior to putting this into motion or going to the hotel and taking the pills or what have you. So, as a white male, he was talking to the guy, the shoe shine guy, and he left and he came back about a week later, and he was, you know, had the chemicals had kicked in. So his skin was dark, hair was dark. And for a minute, the guy didn't recognize him. And then he brought up things that they had talked about when he went there as a white man. And the black guy was so shocked. And he looked at him like, you know, okay, you either have a death wish or you have a mental health problem. I don't know which one it is, but I don't want to be involved. And so after he explained to him he was a journalist, he actually wanted to bring to light the fact of how African Americans are actually treated in our society. And so, long story short, the guy, you know, took him home, gave him some of the information. Again, you know, on the inside, he's a white man, but on the outside, he's black now. So, so he left the guy's house, went out and started catching the bus to another city. I think the first state, but the first state he went to from Louisiana, I think was Alabama. And man, he got a real dose of reality of what it's like to be a black person in the South, okay, in the 60s. But again, this was a very pivotal time. 3 of our great prophet warriors, or warrior prophets, were assassinated during this time because our people were moving with the energy and they were not going to be denied. So Medgar Evers was assassinated in 63, and Malcolm in 65, and then Dr. King in 68. But our people moved to a level that propelled us out of the Jim Crow era. Okay. And this is what he was experiencing, the black coats, okay, and some of the, you know, the residue of the Jim Crow era. And so, so he started hitchhiking. And every time he got in the car with a white person, they just made him feel like he was the scum of the earth. And he ended up you know, getting angry and emotional and slamming the doors and saying, I'm getting out right here. So the moral of this story was, and this is why I have issues with this situation, that you have people that are defining our lives.
My brother, sorry for the interruption. I'm going to step away. I'm going to step away for 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, brother.
Okay.
Okay. So here you have someone that has never lived 1 second as a Black person, but then they are able to tell us what's best for us. And then on the flip side of that, when we say, no, you got it wrong, you got it backwards, we're not coming from a position of hate, you see. And this in itself adds a different twist to it, which I believe is done deliberately. Because anytime we tell the story from our perspective, who no one else has that ability or right when you think about it. So you have people that have usurped our cultural rights and our creatrix given right to express our here on the planet. And now you're telling us that we don't have the right to do it. So it was, you know, it was something that kind of brought me back to a few things during that time and what, you know, I was dealing with and what we were dealing with. And so the one thing that I'm clear about as I end on this story about Black Like Me is that real history, when told, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be pleasant to the people who have plagiarized it, okay? That is just a fact. And this is why, you know, I don't have an issue with people from other cultures listening to our program and commenting and stuff. But I don't come from a position of hate. In fact, I come from a position of love for my people. So does Lance and everybody that's listening in the chat room. So let's stop this little boy, little girl game. Okay, because we know, okay, that if we don't put forth the truth about our people, you're not going to do it, and nobody else is going to do it, and we're not depending on anyone else to do it. So this is why the hateful emails and, you know, the hate towards our people began to increase because I just can't wrap my head around, maybe somebody can tell me this, how someone who has 99% of the world's resources, certainly here in America, which we're going to show today, can still have this attitude towards. So when I saw the parade of the Chinese people who love their culture, and I'm happy for them. They celebrated a fascinating parade. Everybody's giving kudos to Chinese culture. Everybody's loving it. As soon as we start talking about Black culture, like I asked the question line in one of the stations, well, you've been showing the same 5 shorts about Black history for the whole month. That's all you've been running. We have millions of Black people that have made major contributions to this country. And they was like, well, when they sent back a message saying, well, I'm sorry we don't meet your standards, but at least we're trying to acknowledge. I was like, huh? This is a major media channel in the Bay Area, and this is your attitude towards me, a Black man, asking this. So at the end of the day, okay, we just have to come bring the heat, okay, or the smoke, or however you want to look at it. Because if we don't, not only are they going to bury our past history, which you call the past is really not the past, but they're going to bury our history right now, okay? And they are paying these people. One thing that I noticed when I do look at black people who are twisted, that white people love them. They give them all kind of accolades when they're talking things, when they're putting down black culture, you know. Of course, like everybody else, we have our 10%. Okay, add C. But for you to make this like this is the majority of black people, and then pay these coons to go on YouTube and say these things about our people, no. So we're going to cover several areas today. I'll just run through them real quickly. And I'm glad I told a story about blacks like me, because what it does is it reinforces the fact that individuals who use media, politics, education, religion to define the black experience, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You don't know what you're talking about. It is impossible for you to do that, okay? And that's why it's so important for shows like
I'm back.
Like Lance. Okay, brother, glad you're back. Why it's so important for the Academy to exist, for LANCESCURV network to exist, and people in the chat room who have platforms or whatever they're doing to, you know, put out the message of our culture. We're very accomplished people, which we're going to show today. We're very proud people. And so we're going to tell the real story of those that have brought death and destruction to the planet, wickedness and evil. And again, you're not going to put these labels on our people. We are loving people, even though because of fiat and other, you know, needs to have attention, we have gone astray. I'll be the first to admit that. But that's why nature allows correction. Okay? And so we're going to correct some things today. So as Lance said, the topic of the show today is Seeds of Colonialism, the Children of Babylon, and the Future of America. Now, we're going to talk first about the invasion of Europeans to black land. We're going to talk about the black indigenous aborigines, their first contact with Europeans. We're going to talk about the seed, the sower, and the harvest, and natural karma. We're going to talk about the whoredoms of Babylon and the Statue of Liberty. We're also going to look at, you know, our great continuity of genius that we know exists all over the planet. We're going to show that. We're going to show spiritual deception. We're going to talk about Catholicism, because contrary to what you believe or know, that is another aspect that people from Latin America are bringing here now. And here on the corners now, they're preaching like, it reminds me of my father and those back during the days when they used to go from city to city and put up tents. I used to hit, I better not say that. Anyway, going from city to city, setting up tents and, you know, having revivals. This is what is the game plan that worked for them. And now these people that are coming here, and we're going to show the statistics. We're not putting them down. We're just dealing with the reality of how this is going to affect our people and all people here in the United States. We're also going to talk about the Jim Jones effect on our people. We're going to talk about the war on melanin by Big Pharma. We're going to talk about the standard imperialistic playbook, Divide and Conquer, the Berlin Conference. We're going to talk about, as I said, our continuity of genius, where we're going to show the first concepts of angels, Aset and Mayat. We're going to show how the Pope and others, because back during that time, before the 1500s, there was not the type of Western racism that we know today, where they worship the Black Madonna and Child. Okay, we're going to see that picture. We're going to also talk about the goddess Shishak, a 10,000-year-old concept that and where the story of Adam and Eve was plagiarized from the Book of Stones. We're also going to talk about the Netta Ankh, the symbol of life, the worship of life, which a great physician, the first physician in history, Imhotep, found in the uterus of Black women. And then we're going to talk about, when we start talking about the future of America, we're going to talk about the digital divide in the future of America, creating a permanent underclass, which we'll get into a little bit of Black Skin, White Mask by France Fanon. And then we'll go into the Black gods in America, okay? Egypt and the Grand Canyon and the Kerner Report. So let's get a couple of definitions here as we go. Before Lance, before you change the, actually, if you can put up the picture that says exposing white lies.
Okay, brother. Give me a second.
That would be great.
Okay.
Okay. So the definition of indigenous origins is that everywhere they went, you were already there. Okay. We're going to show this clearly. So this is what indigenous origins means. The word indigenous means originating or occurring naturally in a particular place. People inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or from before the arrival of the colonists.
Sorry, I'm all over the place.
When we get into the future,
I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Huh? I'm sorry, all over the place because I only see them as thumbnails, very small on the screen. So, okay, this is why I'm going through all of them.
Whichever one. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Can you see the one with the European ships?
Okay.
Where Christopher Columbus is kneeling down? Yeah, forget about the other one. It's no big deal.
Okay, let me see.
But in the future, we're facing a digital divide. A study from the Harvard Business Law Review showed that 40% of K through 12 students, Black, Latino, and Native American homes have no internet service. The digital divide gap between demographics and regions that have access to technological resources and those that don't. So we're talking 66 million Americans, and an astonishing 16 million of them are Black children.
Let me ask you, Brother Neil.
Okay.
The way I downloaded them and titled them, are these visuals from the other show, one of the other shows we did? Because I think I downloaded them.
Some of them are.
Some of them are, right?
So a few of them are. But for the most part, maybe three of them are from one show.
Okay,
but the majority of them are.
All right, because I put it as Neil number 1, Neil number 2, and I think that I had duplicates and uploaded the wrong ones. And I'm so sorry about that. While the show goes on, I'll try to get those again, and I'll set them up differently. And wow, what a mistake! I'm sorry.
Hey, brother, look, man, I marvel at you. So if we were taking an exam, you'd be like 98 percentile. Everybody else would be in the 70s. Okay, I marvel at the volume of work that you're able to not only produce, but to keep up with me. So you producing the visuals for my show, I mean, that's really not your responsibility. I just lean on you because I'm the type of person, like, if I know a brother or sister got an ability better than me, guess what? I ain't got that problem. Okay. So,
well, no, I'm here to support you, brother. I'm always here to support you. And I'm a servant, but I like to always try to do the best I can. When I make a little mistake, it irks me because it's like, I'm not going to say I'm a perfectionist, but I like to follow through and take my time and get everything just right.
You are a perfectionist. That's a good thing. you know, brother, the thing about it is, for you just to be humble enough to admit that you made a mistake puts you in the position that you rightfully deserve to be. Okay, because all of us make mistakes. The problem is nobody wants to admit when they're wrong or when they make a mistake.
Oh no, I'm the first one.
And so that, oh yeah, me too. I'm like that too. I'll be the first one to tell you, oh look, I made a mistake with that. Whether it's a mistake in judgment or in something I'm doing, but yeah. So, okay. So there may be a reason for that. But let's get into the presentation. I just want to talk a little bit about Babylon.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
You know that metaphorically, huh?
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm going to step away again for 2 minutes, and I had to cook the thing a little more. So
okay.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay, brother.
Thank you.
So, metamorphically speaking, we know that Babylon has been the symbol, has become the symbol of wickedness and evil of the world. And so this is why whenever we deal with this subject, okay, we always reference Babylon, because not only that, we know that the Old Testament, I don't deal with the New Testament. Sorry, guys, because, you know, it's first written with the Greek Septuagint. And if you don't know what that's about, you can find out. But the Old Testament has some historical documents or facts. I don't want to say facts, but let's just say historical significance. That's a better way of saying it. That helps us to clarify, you know, certain things in antiquity, which, because it was taken from the coming forth by day, we know that there is some significance involved with it. But on the banks of the Euphrates, there once stood one of the ancient world's most powerful cities, Babylon. Now, even though we're using it as modern day America as a metaphor, this is an actual city that existed in the ancient world. Okay. In the Old Testament, in the book of Jeremiah 51:37, and I thought about that this was right on point with the situation we're experiencing now with the migrants. But it said, I will send foreigners to Babylon to destroy and devastate her land. And they will oppose her on every side in the day of her disaster. I want to read that again, because when I ran across this, it was just amazing to me, okay, that this is actually being manifested right now as I speak, and has been manifested over a period of time. But Jeremiah 51:37 says, I will send foreigners to Babylon to destroy and devastate her land. Now, not all of them, because we have a way of, because of the way that the oppressors have always labeled us, and still do, we have a tendency to do that. Okay, so let's not do that. Let's not be hypocrites, because that's the same thing that happened to our people. Okay, but they will oppose her on every side in the day of her disaster. Also, Isaiah 13 gives a similar prophecy about this. Okay, so when we talk about, one of the visuals that I sent to Lance was a visual about when Christopher Columbus first set sail, and then he actually never made it to America. I'm sure many of us know this. But when he got to the Caribbean, he kneeled down. All of these ships showing up, they planted their flag. Now imagine the natives, coming out. And there was one picture where the brothers was looking like, what the hell is that? Or who the hell is that? And so we see that when they first arrived, they basically just like ignored the fact that there were other human beings already there. They claimed it. You know, if you think about the arrogance of this, one of the reasons too, when you look back at you know, our continuity of genius, one of the things you see is that when they came upon the knowledge of the mental nature, and when they start to kind of understand the fact that we were spiritual by nature, that we did not have these limited ways of putting the creative spirit in a box. That in fact, that everything in nature, the mental group, which was male and female, they were twins, was represented. Okay, so whether it was air, water, oxygen, you know, people, trees, plants, animals, and every single thing on the planet. And see, this is the difference. Okay, that the original peoples of the planet, we were connected to nature through the sun, primarily the life giver. And so everything in nature, you know, we were a part of. We didn't separate nature from ourselves. Okay, so let's look at this. When they got here, okay, they began to plant seeds. We know that the concept of the seed and the sower is very powerful. Okay, whether it's physical, psychological, or spiritual seed. That there is a seed, and then there is a sower. But we also know that there is a harvest time of those seeds. Okay, regardless to whether those seeds are positive or negative, organic or inorganic, natural or unnatural, or artificial. Okay, that we know that in nature, the principle of planting and harvesting is one of the most powerful principles, because our people learned, okay, that when that star, the North Star, appeared, that the banks of the Nile was going to overflood, and that meant that they were going to have a great fertile soil and a great harvest. So again, we live through the signs and elements of nature, not narratives that you have been taught. And this is very significant as we go more into the text today. This is very significant. Okay. The other thing too was that when the Aboriginal people first encountered them, they encountered them from a spirit of giving and helping. So you lie about savages, because we know that had not it been for our Black indigenous people, wherever you went, you would not have survived. In fact, you would have starved to death. In fact, Christopher Columbus, there's been stories of Christopher Cologne. There have been stories of many of his men turning to cannibalism or dying from starvation, where the Tainos actually were the ones that helped them survive through that period. And what did they get as thanks? They enslaved them, raped their women, killed their children. Okay, we have the record. Okay, so these seeds, whether you know it or not, are going to manifest. And so this is what's happening today. The seeds of colonialism are manifesting. We know about the divine law of germination and manifestation. Okay? And this is what's going on today. And because our people have been separated from this, we can't read the signs in nature like we used to do. I remember Lance telling me about a story a few years ago about how they knew when it was going to rain. I believe it was Mrs. SCURV knew that when the ants kind of got together and you saw a whole bunch of ants, then you know that rain is coming. And see, this was the type of stuff that we used to think, or knowledge, I shouldn't say stuff, that we naturally knew and lived by, the solar clock. We live according to the sun. Okay? So all of these things have had an impact on us. And as we can see today, as we look at the seed and the sower, is that many of these seeds were seeds of unrighteousness. Okay, let's just call it for what it is. Seeds of wickedness, seeds of evil. I'm not one of these people that try to nail somebody in a coffin. Okay. We're gonna look at both sides. Okay. But when I look at it from the colonist side, honestly, I really can't see anything in regards to them bringing any type of spiritual knowledge. Because, and this is where I have a problem, and I'm talking to my people right now. This is where I have a problem why we cannot move forward, okay, in certain areas, the main areas that we need to be moving forward with. Because many white people know the things that we don't know, okay? That's just the way it is. But once we become aware of it, then we must move on from there. Now, people get upset with me, and the amazing thing is the majority of people that get up, because white people know this already, that there was no person in history by the name of Jesus, okay? Let's say that again. There was no personality in antiquity with the name Jesus. Why? Is because the letter J was created by Europeans in the 1600s, 1524 to be exact, when they landed on the shores in the Western world. Anybody can look that up. I don't know why our people do not want to move beyond this, okay? I didn't say that the individual that you are looking to didn't exist. I said the person with that name did not exist. Yahshua existed. So these are things that our people have to move beyond now, because there are things that are coming at us that you can't get caught up on because somebody don't want to say Jesus. You get angry at them. We need to build now. Okay, we need to move beyond the little girl, little boy games that we have been taught, okay, and start building. We have no more time. And like Dr. John Henry Clark said, we have no friends. Okay, so it's now or never. All of our great ancestors have said the same exact thing. I remember Dr. Amos Wilson's one of his books I read saying, you have to build now, or you're going to be at the bottom of society forever, and our children are going to be. And you cannot let, because someone doesn't want to say Jesus, stop you from building with our people. This is nonsense. Okay? I'm not trying to tear anybody's belief down or faith or whatever. You can believe whatever, you have that right. But do not penalize other people that's walking in truth. This is where it's like when you come up to a bridge and there's one way across the bridge, but you're saying that you're not going to cross that bridge because the people from other religions are crossing that bridge too. This is 90-degree indoctrination of our people that come from plantation theology and Willie Lynch theology that we must move beyond today. Okay? And these are the seeds of colonialism. Now, let's look at the children of Babylon. What does that mean? We already know that Babylon was a great city. Now, people may not want to admit this, but America is a great city. Was a great city, a great country. I'm sorry. Okay, but black people were at the foundation of why America is great. Okay, if it was not for black people, I'll debate anybody. We can go through the statistics and the data if you want to. If it wasn't for black people, okay, America would never have become the powerful nation that it is. Okay. But we have given over that power to other nations. We have eroded the moral fiber of America. And now we're looking at the children of Babylon. Metamorphically speaking. Okay. We're looking at the opioid crisis. We're looking at the fentanyl crisis. Okay. We're looking at drug trafficking. We're looking at child trafficking. Okay. We're looking at organ harvesting. Okay. We're looking at the children of Babylon, and we're looking at the manifestations that have come from the seeds of colonialism. Okay. There are other things as well. There are so many different things that have manifested. But the number one thing that caused the fall of Babylon, which is why the future of America, if we don't stop this in its tracks right now, is going to be something that we cannot even imagine. Okay. The level of wickedness and evil that exists because of fiat, let's call it for what it is, because we have turned our backs on the real creative spirit. And let me say this right here too. I did a show with Lance once, talking about the fact that black folks have paid $420 billion in tithes over the last 30 years. Now, you need to wrap your head around that. Okay, that's almost $500 billion. But yet, we are still at the bottom of the economic ladder here in America. Why is that? We know the systemic things. Okay, we know this. But now, to be very honest with you, there are cultures that have far less than we have, okay, that are thriving because they are building together. Okay, so we as a people have to, and let's stop this crazy stuff about individually attacking each other. We got enough coons that's doing that. Okay, you don't need to be attacking somebody because they have a different viewpoint than you. Okay, yes, the system is responsible for the condition of black people, but we don't have to stay in this condition. This is a choice that we're making. Okay, to stay in this. Now, I couldn't say this that, like, a certain individual said that people had a choice in terms of physical slavery. No, that's incorrect. But today we do. Today we do. The other thing about the whoredoms of Babylon and the wickedness involves spiritual deception. And the children of Babylon and the seeds of colonialism have brought this to bear. Okay? When you look at the pedophilia that's out of control here in this country and in the world, you have to look at the situation with the Catholic priests. I ran across a story with the Catholic nuns. These are things that don't just disappear because they're in the etheric world. And just because you can hide them physically, like we know that this is something that America does very well. You can hide stuff from people physically, but you cannot hide the manifestation of the seeds of this. You cannot. Your children can't hide it because it's right there in our face. I can turn on the TV right now and I can see it. Okay. But when we look at this spiritual deception with the Catholicism, it's very troubling because now we have to ask ourselves, how many of these people coming from Latin America have been abused as children? That opens a whole new can of worms. How many of these people, I look at one statistic, I believe it was 20 years ago, 90% of people from Latin America were Catholics. Now it's something like, it's still high, something like 69, 70%. Okay, this is very significant. Black folks don't know nothing about no rosary beads. So these type of conflicts, the children of Babylon have set up. Okay, you look at Jim Jones, almost 1,000 black people dead. Okay, and yes, people might say, okay, well, you're picking out. No, I'm trying to show that if you continue to ignore what nature has taught us and continues, because nature is our greatest teacher, then it's our children who are going to suffer. They don't care about you anymore. They got you. Okay? They got you already. They don't care because all you care about is attention and fiat. When I go down here to Chinatown and I see these people loving their culture, they're working together. They ain't asking them and playing these games. And yes, I get it. Black people are the most amazing people on this planet. With what we have been faced with the way that we have been taught to hustle and do. And I'm not, because I've done the same thing as a young man. I've done certain things I'm not proud of, but the thing that saved me is, my family foundation. There were certain things I was taught, the certain lines I didn't cross. And then I pursued my higher nature in terms of being able to have something to give, have a mission first, and then have something to give back to society, like Lance always said, to be a servant. And see, again, religion has taught our people something that people with a God complex have. That I stand up here in a pulpit and I preach down to you. No, the servant is the greatest position you can have on the planet. Okay? So all of these things, okay, the whoredoms of Babylon, okay, all of these things are being manifested now. We see them. When we address the symptoms of these narratives that we have been given, okay. Matter of fact, let me look at. We're going to talk about the war of Big Pharma on melanin. Okay, we're going to talk about the war on melanin by Big Pharma, and this is something a nurse friend of mine. I actually went over to where she works, and I sat down and wanted to talk to her about this because I do a lot of reading and research, but at the same time, you still have to have real life, like Lance says all the time, boots on the ground people, where you get firsthand knowledge, because there's always the chance that you're dealing with second-hand knowledge. So, long story short, she told me about this drug that's called lisinopril. It's a blood pressure medication, okay, that a bunch of black people are on now, okay? But that comes from our unhealthy diet and our eating habits, okay? This is where this comes from. And then she told me that the side effects of that are devastating because what it does is it changes the blood sugar levels and makes hypoglycemia or diabetes, which black people have in droves, symptoms worse. So we get hit with a double whammy. So it actually increases the symptoms of your diabetes. And when they hit you with this second round of this whammy, so this is going to be the death blow for our people. This is what they're aiming at. So we need more people to start addressing health. Put it out there. It's a crisis. It's a pandemic in our community, and it needs to take center stage. Okay? Now, let's move into the next area. We're going to talk about the fact that why this migrant crisis is going to have a devastating impact on the Black culture. Okay? Because let's look at the statistics, and these statistics are within 5 years. I'll always make sure that they're at least 6 years. In this case, this is from 2018. And these are, and when you hear people say, keep blaming our people and blaming our people, I'm telling you right now, this is robbery. I actually cannot get in my mind now how our people can continue. There is no way you could be worshiping the same God. Let me just get that out without beating around the bush. There is no way, okay? With the things that you've been taught from the Greek Septuagint, or what you call the New Testament, you don't comprehend that this individual that you'll put all your eggs in the basket, all of our children's eggs in the basket, is not giving you the same thing that other people that have taught you this are getting or have gotten. The average, and this is from 2018. Let me think back a little bit. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but yeah, okay. White America is 60% of the population in the United States, yet they control $94 trillion of household wealth in this country. Now, let me say that again, because some of you might think, and you can Google this and how you all do your research, okay? Because I'm not going to get on Lance's show and say something that I definitely don't know to be a fact. $94 trillion of household wealth of white people that are 60% of the population. I should say 60% of the U.S. population are white. Yet they control $94 trillion of household wealth. Now, you can do this kumbaya stuff all you want, okay? But I'm begging you not to stifle our children with it, okay? I've never begged Black people like I'm doing today. Do not do this, okay? Because now they're facing something you didn't have to face. They're facing a culture of people that's coming here, and they're going to bring it. You can say what you want about them. They're going to bring it. They're going to work hard. They're going to help each other. They're going to do all the things that have been taken away from our people. The other side of this statistics is that Black people are 13% of the U.S. population, yet control over only $4.6 trillion of household wealth. Now, I don't know if you understand and comprehend that, but our people, they can use this term woke all they want. We are not. We have some serious issues, okay, that we have to deal with. Here's another one. 60% of the white people in the United States control 98% of the land in this country. Let me say this again, of the wealth in this country. And land is the foundation of capitalism. 60% of the U.S. population are white Americans. And I ain't saying that these statistics come from white people, the majority of them. Okay? But because we don't want to look at truth And they keep us so inundated with illusions that it's like the Titanic. You're sinking, and nobody can do any the unsinkable ship. Okay, and I will say, all of the weapons they have used against us in the past have failed. But now they're bringing in a weapon that we have not faced before. Okay, because for the most part, the Latino people that are born in America are a lot like us. A lot of them, you know, they live in the white culture, just like a lot of our people. Okay, but for the most part, they're Americans. We're talking about people that's coming from a whole different continent. Okay, a whole different culture, and I don't think our people see this. We see the money, we see the other things, but we don't see this great tsunami that's getting ready to hit us. Because we're the ones that's not prepared financially to deal with it. I just gave you the statistics. Black people own 1% of the land and the wealth in the United States. Okay. Now, I always battle for our folks because I know we fight. Our people fight with all the stuff that have come against our people, and we still have excelled in every area of endeavor where you put our people. We have excelled. Okay. There was a story that was done about this black family that they had an appraisal done on their property. And they were astonished because the appraisal was so low, in which they knew what the property was worth. Okay. So the wife came up with an idea. She said, well, we have Beth and her husband, and Beth is a white coworker, a close friend they've been knowing for years. Why don't we have them to sit in, remove all of our pictures of our black family off the walls on the desk or what have you, and let Beth, and I believe the guy's name was Tory, something like that, put all the pictures up of them. Well, at the end of the day, this appraisal came back at $500,000, $500 million more. Okay, 500,000 more than what they got. So we know that systemic racism still exists. That redlining still exists. But at the end of the day, and these people, this is why, no matter how much they attack our people with these coons on here, that they're paying all this fiat or giving them all this attention for, our people have come through a lot and still fight. And I have every faith that we will overcome or continue to overcome. However, we're going to have to do some specific things. We're going to have to overcome certain things, a certain mindset. Now let's look at, tying that together, what happened in Akibalon to what happened here on Turtle Island. The standard imperialistic playbook, divide and conquer. 1884 to 1885, the Berlin Conference, when they divided up Akibalon, or Africa as you know it. They disregarded the sacred history and spiritual aspect of our people. Because of the jealousy and enviousness that came from them coming in contact with the Medu Neter and seeing the Book of Stones. And see, so I'll give you an example. And I've said this earlier, where they plagiarized the story of Adam and Eve from, where the goddess Shishak in the Book of Stones, 10,000-year-old concept that now you have taken for one that's probably 1,800 years or less than 2,000 years old as a gospel truth. When we have the goddess Shishak handing this fruit to the king of the Pharaoh, okay, as a sort of what you call a blessing, but as encouragement, confidence that we have confidence in your ability to lead our nation. This is where this concept came from. Okay. The Neter Ankh, where Imhotep showed the Ankh in the uterus of a black woman. And then while I always talk about the fact about our sacred geometrical figure, which we kept taking back, okay, the pyramid that our people saw in Orion's belt. But they recently discovered a 5,000-year-old book that had the sacred geometry in it with the pyramid, and then they had a man inside one of the pyramids. Okay. Now, along with that, the first concept of angels, okay, which that whole concept of angels was plagiarized. The first picture with wings, okay, ever on the planet was Meot in a set. You can see I had a beautiful picture I sent to Lance, which you can show it, but I'm sure many of you have seen this picture before, where a beautiful picture of a set. This is where this concept of angels came from. Okay. So as we look back at the seeds of colonialism, we look back at now the children of Babylon. And we look at what has been produced from that. We cannot deny the sheer wickedness and evil that is upon us. Okay. Also, when they first came to here, to Terrible Island, there were black gods in America. So many. Okay. One of the reasons why I saw a story where a young brother just lost a case in court over them wanting there's a lot. It's because guess they saw when they looked at the back of the Olmec statues. I've been to La Venta. I've seen them, so nobody can tell me anything about it. Okay, that braids that you see that our people have always worn braids. Okay, but you can clearly see the braids in the back of these huge heads that weigh some of them 300-400 tons. Okay, so let's start with the okie doke. We also know they did an article on Egypt in America, in the Grand Canyon. They have the Medu Neter, or what you know as hieroglyphics, on the walls. They have pictures from the Book of Stones on the walls. You go. There are a lot of other places, a lot of states around America. I saw a video about this a while back, but there are things that have been hidden because they want to downplay your greatness, but also you must claim your greatness. Okay, you must now begin to sow seeds of greatness again. See, these are things that we have the power to do, that we are given control over our lives, what we believe in, what we eat, where we go, you know, how we have fun, how we define our lives. To Babylon. Okay? So I want to encourage everybody today that no matter what they say about black folks, we know the truth. We have the records. We have some of the greatest scholars that ever walked this earth. They have told us the truth. We don't have to sit around and play victim. We don't have to do that. We have just got to get past these petty little boy, little girl differences. We have got to do that. And if you don't want to do it, then let the children do it. Please. I'm sick of this. This is ridiculous. This is why other people laugh at us. The mightiest people, I like to use this term now that I found out. I don't know who came up with it, but kudos to them. I didn't originate it. From pyramid builders to project dwellers. But this is all in your mind. When you have the greatest ability to manifest greatness. And with that today, Brother Lance, I'll close.
Yes, brother. Yes. Excellent, man. I'm just sitting here listening to you, And from pyramid builders to project dwellers. Let me tell you something. No, seriously. Yeah, that's dope. I'm not saying it's dope like that. That's what we should aim for. All I'm saying is that that's a sad reality. That is a reality, and I don't think we get spanked enough. I don't think black people get spanked enough these days. Like I said, I'm really disappointed, and I'll always voice that. I'll always motivate and try to encourage, but I'm very disappointed in what I see in the span of my lifetime, man, because I remember back in the day and see, civil rights, and I was much younger, but my parents schooled me to what was going on. And I saw the 70s and the blaxploitation movies and little party period we had. Then we came back into consciousness in the mid 80s, Public Enemy, just a whole, and the 90s, the romance, the R&B, and all of a sudden it started to get into the thuggery, and then men didn't want to be men no more, and engineering us. And I just want to say something real quick too. When you Google search, right? Like, okay, I'm tagging up this particular show on the website, right? And when you tag a blog article, it's almost like giving it an address, right? And when people search it, they may not find yours first, but it'll be in the pool of different things that they can find. Now, colonialism is one of the words that I'm using to tag this article, right? And what I'm noticing, right? Because I put the plain word colonialism. And what do you think of when you think of colonialism? Of course, it has happened in other countries, but I'm seeing that the feedback I'm getting on the words that I'm searching to put for the blog, they're putting colonialism more with India than with Africa. Now, we don't want colonialism in Africa, right? But the history of it. So they're pointing it elsewhere. So when we search for our history on their platforms, we don't pull it up. There's so many things I see out here, man, that I'm gonna have to do a show just how they do us on the internet. And we're sitting here, you're giving real information from real lifelong research that's powerful. And we got these other fools out here who are spouting stuff that they hear from brothers like you will never give you credit for, but they don't know what they're talking about. And they don't see it in an active way. That's like driving your car and trying to measure the distance with your eyes closed before you make the left turn. You're going to get into an accident. And like you said, 1%? And we're 13% of the population, but guess what? We're locked up more. This is ridiculous. Black people are dying. We're in a sinking ship, and we just don't see it. And I'm sick of it. Let me put it this way. I'm sick of the nigger business, y'all. We act black. We talk black during Black history, whatever. And I'm sick of you got black people and you got niggas, and the majority of black people have become, man, I'm really sick to my stomach. And you know what? One more thing I want to say, man. Marcus Garvey, look how he ended up. Where was the support? Malcolm X has a beautiful family with the beautiful daughters, beautiful wife. He died penniless. He died broke. He wasn't going for the money. Right? Like these pimp preachers that you give your damn money to keep him in alligator shoes, right? He died broke. And look what he tried to do. And look at the black world now. I'm sick of these talking heads. I'm sick of these people who many honor as being these great whatever, but they never did the research like you and break it down. I'm tired. I'm not going out like this. I have no taste for it anymore.
I feel you, brother.
I'm going to do it because I see you, you know what I mean? And Mr. Political, and Brother Michael Heyman, he transitioned, but his spirit is still with us, and a few others, Brother Holla, but I'm like, wait a second. I'm not going out like this. I'm not going out like this, man. If they want to continue with the buffoonery, look at what people are looking at on Instagram. Look at what people are looking at on Facebook. How many backsides can you look at? I mean, and it's getting worse. And then so many of our men don't want to stand up. They want to be in a dress. They want to wear makeup and about the right there. Man, we screwed up, man. And half of these YouTube so-called revolutionaries are frauds. I can give, and I'm not going to do it, but I can name names and I can tell you what they're doing because I've been out here so long. I'm not into the gossip.
It's another form of pimping our people.
Oh God, man, I hate it, man. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. the weirdo groupies, the weirdo people who just want to be on the mic, the weirdos, black people are turning into weirdos. Straight up. Straight up. Now, look, there's some of us left. There's some of us here who are listening to you. There's some of us left. But I'm telling you what I see. And I don't care who don't like it. Egotistical, narcissistic, pleasure-oriented, hedonistic, pleasure. Oh, man. Oh,
Boy. Yeah.
I'm pissed. See, Malcolm X didn't have a chance to say he was pissed. Dr. Martin Luther King didn't have a chance to say this because they felt they were going in the right direction. But if they came back and saw, I mean, holidays and honoring this, and this is so-and-so's birthday, but what the hell are you doing in your everyday life? And the peepers and the gossipers and the want to bring you down and compete. Man, I'm tired of y'all Negroes, man. I'm tired. I don't
compete with nobody but myself. That is a sickness that my biggest concern, Lance, is that they're teaching the children the same old degraded behavior, way of acting, and see y'all as better than your brothers and sisters, and you should kill them and do whatever you need to do to get it, step over them, spit on.
Serious.
And so when we talk about the children of Babylon, we're right in it.
Yep.
A large portion of black folks are right there as children of Babylon with this evil wickedness that the only thing they care about is just they get the attention and the fiat that they want. That's all they care about. They don't care about nothing else. And it's sad, man, where we are. But, on the flip side, we know that our energy is going out and we're fighting against it. And so, regardless to, if they want to wallow in the pig's mud with these people and continue to do this stuff, that's fine. I just know that we have a path to follow, which we are following.
Yes.
And let's just continue to do that, brother. I think
just having a moment.
Huh?
I said I was just having a moment. I was just having a moment. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm glad that you had that moment because again, we tend to, and rightfully so, we are victims. Okay, but what you gonna do? You gonna stand around and wallow in the victimization every day? When you have the ability, but here's the flip side to that too, of why your anger is righteous anger. It would be one thing if we didn't have the ability to change this.
Right.
Our money still continues to circulate only 16 hours a day, as crazy as that is to believe. It used to be 2 days. Now it's only 16 hours a day. You cannot survive in America as a people when you're not doing business with each other. Now, I get it. For various reasons, the black prices might have to be a little higher. We know the games that these manufacturers and distributors play with us. We don't have any distribution companies, or at least that can make a dent in our situation. These are the things I'll give you one example. 84% of the people that support the beauty, hair, and nail industry are black women. But yet there are no black subsidiaries owned by black women. I mean, no subsidiaries in that industry owned by black women. Now, I'm not talking about the mom and pop stores, the retail. I'm talking about the ones that are the regional distributors. And I was very troubled by this sister in Oakland. This was about a year ago when I went into her store and I asked her about that, and her shelves are damn near empty. And she said that the Koreans who control the distributorship for that area are deliberately doing this. Now, if somebody is deliberately, that you have helped, by the way, because when they came here, they went straight to the black community. Okay, their descendants, or I don't know how long they've been here, at least 100 years maybe, I don't know, that's at least 60 years, are, they are benefiting from this directly from the black community. But yet, you're going to try to block a sister's retail store? See, this is, back in the day, that subsidiary would be boycotted. They would not be able to function no more. Okay, so we need to be proactive against these people that are attacking us. That the only reason that they are viable in this country is because of the black community. All of them went straight, and I'm talking about Arabs and East Indians too. All of them made a beeline to our community, but more so the Asians and the Koreans in particular. To our community, set up shop, and now generation after generation of their people are sitting high on the hog. Now, again, I'm not angry at them, but now I'm angry at somebody that deliberately stopping our sisters, okay, from growing economically, then we're gonna fight back against you. And I couldn't find out exactly. She said that it was a particular, what was it? A territorial manager that they dealt with, because they put layers between them being able to deal directly with the subsidiaries. You see what I'm saying? So how in the hell could 84% of our women be responsible for the billions of dollars they make in this industry? Yet I'm like you, brother. I better get, because once I start thinking about this stuff, really thinking about it, then I get angry too. Okay, because when somebody trying that I'm helping, try to deliberately hurt. Oh yeah, I'm a nice guy, but when I know you deliberately try to hurt me, then my cousin's gonna come out of me. I'm ready to fight, and so it's just a sad situation we're in, brother. And but let's just continue to fight, man. Whatever these evil people have planned, natural is gonna take care of them. I don't even give it no energy, to be honest with you. I see what they're doing. It's not like they're trying to hide it, but and I'll end with this, brother Lance. It's almost like a sense of betrayal when it's your own people. When you stick your neck out, and again, I go back to something Dr. Kojo said to me. He said, "Neil, are you sure this is what you want to do with your life?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." Because if I wanted to be a sales individual, I could be making $150,000 a year if that's what I chose to do. He said, and I said, "Yes, this is what I'm going to do." I remember like it was yesterday. It was like 22 years ago. And I said, "Yeah, this is what I'm going to pursue. Eventually I want to have a school for our children." And he said, "Okay." He said, "Well, don't expect for our people to do anything for you. You got to be willing to go through the hard times, and you got to be," because I used to hear you say this all the time. That's why that resonates with me. That you better be ready to stand on your own.
That's right.
Because our people can be very, very vicious towards any type of growth and development with our own.
Yes,
and
yes.
That is one of the most schizophrenic things that I just cannot wrap my head around. Who taught you to hate each other at this level? So yeah, brother, I'm glad we had another good talk today.
Yes, thank you.
The energy, wherever it's supposed to go, man or woman can't block it. They can use all the whatever they use, the white magic, black magic, or whatever. It ain't gonna stop. Like the old folks used to say, a hill of beans.
That's right.
So I'm gonna take some of this medication, and I got a couple appointments I got to go to later.
Yes.
But I was not gonna let this. Well, one thing about California is everybody gets sick at the same time. But once you get past the initial stage, then the good thing is a couple of days, your natural immune system builds up again. So,
exactly.
It's good.
You did good.
All right, brother Lance. Well, peace and love to you, brother.
Always, brother. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to this every week. Oh, most definitely, man. That's all I know is to fight. Never had my spirit broken.
That's right.
Even when I have a moment and complain between rounds.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to send you a picture of what I had for you.
Yes.
I'm going to send it to you.
Yes, yes. I appreciate that. We'll be back on track next week.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, brother.
Okay, Brother Lance.
Yes. You have a good night.
Take care.
Okay, peace.
Make sure to go to LANCESCURV.com, an online magazine established in 2001, containing written articles, thousands of talk shows and discussions, cutting-edge cartoons, as well as erotic expressions and tasteful adult photography. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Once you get a taste of the world of LANCESCURV, trust me, you'll be back for more. LANCESCURV.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.